Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode on ABAP on Cloud Come RESTful ABAP programming training. In the last episode, we created our Fiori application on the WebID full stack on the top of the service which we exposed from our ABAP on Cloud system. And we're trying to deploy this application where we are facing this error of process finish with error code 10. The reason of this error is again the memory issue or the allowed space in the Cloud Foundry. We don't have enough space to deploy the application, or could be that the space which we have given here for the application is not sufficient enough by the system to consume. So maybe I'll just try to increase the space and try out a little bit more, because unfortunately we will not be able to deploy if there is a problem with respect to space. So let me make it 512 MB, and for this also 500, because if we exceed too much on the space, system would allow us to deploy, and if we keeps the space too less, then again we have a problem in terms of system would allow or system is not capable then to run our application. So this is a limitation in the trial account. We cannot do much because we are bound by the amount of space given to us. And I just updated the space, and let's give it a try one more time. Right click, we just have to make sure a build is done. So let's quickly do a build for the module before we go for deployment. So system creates the new mtar file, and then finally we will be deploying it one more time. So this is just the only process which is limited by the trial edition and the capacity of my account. Of course, when you are doing, you will also be bound by that if you're using a trial account, but just in case, if you are using a productive account, you will not be bound by this problem. I will right click again and say deploy to HTML5 module, deploy. Now you see my deployment begins, and let's hope no, still it doesn't work. So we have a problem in terms of space, and when we're increasing the space, it's overshooting the space. When we're reducing it, the system is not capable to hold or run this particular application with the less space. It needs minimum 1 GB, and the 1 GB gets over only just by the processor thing itself. Yeah, so that's an unfortunate thing. We cannot deploy and see, but ultimately what will happen after the deployment, you will be able to come back and to your sub account, and you will see there in the dev space an application will be visible, which will be deployed and will be executed. So I think deployment is complete, but it's not able to start the application because of limited space. If I just go inside, it didn't even complete. So here is where you will see actually an entry for our application, and then when you click on that entry, you will be able to get a URL, and that URL you can use to launch the application in the cloud. So now maybe I just go and check here the portal, and you see that currently the portal service is not also available in the cloud because we don't have an option to create a site. So once the portal services are enabled, which is again, it's a limitation in the trial account, you will see here a create site option, create site button, and then you will be able to create a launchpad page with the tile integrating to your Fiori app. That's something, again, we are bound or limited into the trial account. We don't have an option here to create our portal page. You see there's a create button is not enabled as part of this dev portal. Yeah, so these are all the limitations of the trial account, but once you have a productive account, you will be able to do these three things which we could not do it. So first thing was running the service with a scenario. Because of communication scenario, we're not able to do. Step two was deployment due to limited memory space, we could not do. And third is this portal service to integrate it with the launchpad. So these three things are something which I cannot show. Maybe in the future, once I have some productive account, I will be able to record an additional video and put it in the training blog, which will help you to do these three stuff. Now let's come back to talk about ABAP Git. What is ABAP Git and how can we use ABAP Git? What is the purpose of ABAP Git? So ABAP is meeting Git. So how does that happen? So ABAP is actually going ahead and meeting the Git repository. Okay. So it's called ABAP Git or Git ABAP integration. That's what it's called. So what does exactly ABAP Kit or ABAP Kit integration does? So guys, it's nothing. SAP is not design everything all over again. SAP still has the concept of packages where you store your objects, lock in a transport request and send it. But the main advantage of ABAP Git integration is, for example, you are using Web IDE, and in the Web IDE here you have developed a project. You have developed a project over here in the Web IDE, and this project you are actually deploying to the SAP cloud platform, or you're deploying somewhere maybe. But at the same time, this project which you build, how do you collaborate between multiple developers? That collaboration happens via GitHub. You will be having a GitHub account where you will be seeing all your source code, and other developers will be syncing that source code with you. So all your source code resides in the Git. We are aware of the basics of Git. You can also check my sample videos on the Git on the YouTube. So that's how Git works. So in real world, when we develop a project, it's not just we alone working on the project. Rather, there is a team of developers who work together on a project. Now, in order to share this project, you cannot just simply email this project to everyone. And when they do a change, they will email you back, which is extremely difficult to collaborate on a same project. That's where the concept of Git comes into picture. When you have a project, you can check in the branches into the Git repository. So GitHub is a repository of projects where you can store your project for free. Yes, it's for free. And then you can check out and check in. So similarly, now what ABAP is trying to do, ABAP is trying to have some kind of a plugin. With the help of that, you will be able to read and write to GitHub repository. That's what ABAP is actually doing. Yeah. Again, I repeat, ABAP is doing nothing. It's just basically creating a plugin. So this is your ABAP system. So till today, if you want some project be imported into the ABAP system, you cannot do directly. This was not allowed. So there's no direct communication to Git till today. It's not allowed. What is exactly now will happen is, if you want a project into ABAP, what you need to first do is you need to just use Web IDE. You need to clone the repository from Web IDE, from the GitHub to Web IDE. You need to export the zip, and then you need to import that zip in the ABAP system using a program called /UI2/UI5 underscore repository underscore import. So using a program you need to import. There is no direct communication between the Git and the ABAP. That's not possible till today. Okay, it's not allowed, not possible. But now with ABAP Git integration, so ABAP Git or Git ABAP is nothing but it's an integration. It's an integration, and this integration of course, in any integration you want to do, for example, there are two cities separated by a river, and if you want to do an integration between these two cities, you need some kind of a bridge, right? So that bridge is called Git ABAP or ABAP Git. So that is the bridge. You have it here. We call it as ABAP Git. Now, current limitation of ABAP Git is it only runs on SAP GUI right now. Okay, it runs in SAP GUI. There is no inbuilt plugin with ADT. So as you can use SAP system by two ways. One is using SAP GUI, another is using ABAP development tools in Eclipse. So currently you can run in SAP GUI. Of course you can run in ADT, but there is no direct plugin in ADT for ABAP Kit at this point of time. That is a work in process. Okay, as I've seen the SAP's release notes, that's a work in process. But for SAP GUI, you can directly use it. But this ABAP Git is also not pre-delivered right now as part of any SAP system, which means you cannot find it in SAP system. Still, if you want to use it, you can do the configuration yourself. How? So what SAP does, it gives you a report. Okay, it gives you a report. You can import that report, and then you can have a communication to the GitHub directly. Okay, so let me show you the steps to be able to have this bridge created, And then we can do check-in and check-out directly from an ABAP system to the GitHub. We can also export a project, get all the source code into one of the package in ABAP, make the changes and push it directly here. So earlier this push you cannot do directly, but now with this bridge you can do pull and push to the GitHub directly from ABAP system. Everybody, are you clear? Are you clear what is ABAP Git or GitHub app? Are you clear? So it's just an additional adapter or bridge, you can call it anything, which allows you to talk to the GitHub from the ABAP system directly. Everyone, are you clear? When somebody asks you what is ABAP Git, what is it exactly? Are you clear? What is ABAP Git? So now let me just go and show you the steps to set up ABAP Git as part of your system. Okay. Remember, right now SAP is not pre-delivering this as part of your system. It's still not out of the box coming. It's not like you go to VA01, you cannot go to ABAP Git right now. You have to, if you want to use ABAP Git, you have to create a report in your SAP system. How do you do that? So for that, let me just switch to ABAP Git website. And you can see this ABAP Git documentation welcome. Just go inside. Yes. So this is the link. I will also give this link to all of you. In true sense, this is actually called ABAP Git integration. That's what it's called in true sense. So this is the link. Now, how do you set up your ABAP Git? Actually, all of this is given in the same link, but let me show you step by step. So first of all, you need to copy a report program from the website, the page above, and create a report in SE38. It is report in SE38. So one thing you have to do. Second thing what you need to do is, after creating this report in SE38, you need to create optionally. You can create a T code for easy access. Now, step number 3 is now you can have to maintain a secure certificate so that our ABAP system can trust the GitHub. This is a very important step. Otherwise, you will get an error. You have to maintain a trust relationship between your ABAP system and the GitHub. That's what also we will be doing in step number 3. So let's go ahead, and then finally we can check out. We can I would say repositories and branches. ABAP system. Let's get started. I'll go back to the system, and now over here we will create a new report. So either you can do it in ADT or you can directly go in SAP GUI. So let me go to SAP GUI maybe. Launch our ABAP system. It is an on-premise system. You can do this in cloud also, but I'm just doing it in OP system. Cloud you cannot do because there's no possibility to create a report actually there. Okay, so I'll just create here system, and I will do is I will just go to SE30 and I will copy these to a report. Let's say Z Anubhav Git. Let me click on create button. Stop using Git integration. Don't save.
Awesome. And now it's time to write this report program code over here. So you get this. You go back to the documentation and you see latest build is this one. Yeah. So now just click on, I just go to installation, make sure installation, and then you see this ABAP code. You say right click, you say save as, and now, okay, I can't save it. Just click on this, no problem. Let it load the complete code. So it's loading now the complete code. You can see it will take a lot of time. It's a big code, huge code actually. All right. It's a huge code. So it'll take about maybe 30 seconds to up to 1 minute. It's a very big report actually. Okay. So let it load completely. You see still it's moving on the top. So let it load completely the report. We don't touch, otherwise my browser will hang because it's a huge code. You see, huge code it is. Just come down. It's a huge code. It's still it's loading up. Yeah, slowly it's loading up the entire code. It's a huge code. Let it load completely, and then we'll make a copy of this code. It's you can see it's moving and loading, staying time to load. Let it take the time what it takes. In the meantime, just again maybe try to open in another browser so that it can load faster. And let me just execute now. And you will see a beautiful ABAP Git screen. Wow, ABAP Git integration, guys, on your screens. Fantastic. Look at here. Now it's time to clone any repository. You can do that. So just say clone a repo, click on online option in the menu, and this will copy the remote repo to your system. So you can go to any repo on the internet and you can now copy the code from the internet. So maybe I can just go ahead and create a repo with a simple ABAP program with the right statement. That's completely possible. So I don't have a repo. So maybe just search for a repo which is already there. We go back to this link and now see how to clone, install online repo. You see this, they will give you some free repo, free repository on the internet. You see, yes, we have a free repository, GitHub LARSHP datametrics.git. I will use this and I will come back and I'll say online repository and I'll give the git URL and I will give the package in which I want to import. Yeah, so Z star F4. Let me search a package with Z in the system, in our system, where this repository code will be downloaded. So I select Z underscore Fiori, and you want to give some name, that's okay. And I will say, yes, please go ahead and select the branch. And wow, you get a beautiful error message. HTTPS argument not found. Strust SSL setup correct? Question mark. It's asking that, hey, I cannot do this because you don't have a secure communication to this website, GitHub. Okay. Then how to do this SSL setup? That also is given in this website here. So now I come back. Remember, the SSL setup is an activity which your basis team should do. You as a developer should not do this activity, but just an additional information. If in case they ask you what is the purpose and how to do, you can give this particular SSL setup link to them. Okay, this is what you can do. It says, how can you get this certificate? First of all, go to Chrome browser, open GitHub, click on details, go to developer tools, view certificate, and then download this certificate to your local computer, and then go to certificate path and navigate. Option A, B, and C. You have all the options available which you can choose from. Any one of them will work fine. So maybe I will go with option number 1 itself. I'll launch the GitHub in another window, and this is GitHub and I want a certificate for GitHub. So you click on this lock icon, you see here lock icon, click on that, and now you see this is a certificate. Just click on that
and now go to details. This is the certificate. I say copy to file. Next, base 64 encoded X509 certificate unique. Say next, and I will say my certificate. That's the name I want to give. Say browse, and I will show the system as in my D drive training presentation ABAP on HANA. Yeah, and that's where I want to store my Git certificate. So you see, it will create a file called .cer file, certificate file. I say next and finish. That's how we can export a certificate out from a website, secure certificate, to make my ABAP system trust this website so that it can establish a communication. Step number 1 complete. Let's come back and step number 2. We need to now import this. So go to strust, okay, and then click on change button, SSL certificate anonymous folder, and you need to import this certificate and upload all the downloaded certificates, whichever you have downloaded. So all that you have to do it. So now let's go back to transaction code strust in our system, and you see you have to go to anonymous option and go for change button. Remember, this activity your basis should do. You will not get an access. Import certificate, and I'll go to the folder training presentation, ABAP on HANA presentations folder in my D drive. So in my D drive, training presentations, ABAP on HANA, and this is where I've got my git.certificate. Double click, open, say okay. Remember my decision allow, and you see, wow, beautiful certificate comes here. Say add certificate to the list. Oh my god, it's not adding. I don't have rights, I think. It's not adding the certificate here. You see, I click on add button, and ideally what should happen when you click on this add button? What system should do? It should take this certificate data and it should import it here. You will see an entry over here for certificate list. Actually, it's not showing me a list of entry actually. Let me just give a try. Just say create SHA2. Let's make some demo entry. And I just also try again, add to list. It's not working. So unfortunately, this certificate, it's in the system. I don't know, some issue may be there in our system, but for anonymous, it's not allowing me to import the certificate. There's some problem. It's not allowing us to import certificate. There's some problem. You have to just press the change button again. Now will this allow? No, now this button itself is disabled. So what should happen? The moment I click on this gentleman, it should add my certificate here actually, which it is not doing. It should do it. That's the main reason why I am not able to, I will not be able to check, clone or check in the GitHub in our web IDE. So maybe I just try in the standard client, and now here we'll try the same step. So you see this GitHub, I'll just say add certificate. Watch out what happens. Yes, here you see it got added. You see this github.com, this got added over here at least. So this is the problem. They are saying do it in anonymous, but we are able to do in standard, not under anonymous. So that's okay. Let's give a try now, at least if it works. So I'm going to go back, online repository, again paste the URL of that GitHub repository, installing online repository, and any GitHub repository you can check out here in ABAP now. Any GitHub repository you can check out on github.com. Basically making a bridge between GitHub and ABAP. That's what ABAP on cloud is. Sorry, that's what the GitHub is. Demo. Okay. Identical keys, it's saying. Now it's getting a different error. Identical keys. Maybe I should remove the anonymous completely. and then try. So GitHub, we have it only once here now. Let's give it a try now. Let's try in some other Z package. Demo. I said, okay. Now it's giving a different error. Go to source. Don't know what's the problem. It's not allowing me now. At least I think certificate issue is gone, but it's not allowing us to check out this Git repo. Let's give it a try. Or I'll just give Z Anubhav Git, and I'll say create a package also. So I created now a package also, and along with that we are doing the Git. So let's say okay. You see again we got the certificate issue. Yes. So guys, until unless we import the anonymous certificate in our system, we will not be able to do. And after this step, actually there is nothing. What happens is the code which you have on the Git repo, on the Git repository. Let me open the Git repository on the internet. This is the Git repository we're trying to access. This Git repo has, these classes, ABAP classes, ABAP code you see. It has this ABAP XML code or some ABAP code. You see this .abap extension. This is an ABAP code. All this ABAP code automatically gets imported to your package. That's it. That's what it will do actually. It will just import your ABAP packages to your system in that package. And then you can change the code and you can do a push also directly from here. So you have to just do the pull push the way you do. Same way you can do pull and push to your code. Yeah. All these things you can do it from this report program. And you can also find the documentation for this completely over installing Git repo demo Git. So just go there. Again, it's saying cannot trust. So you can find all the demonstration and all the details on this wiki page. How to do in installing a repository, keeping the code up to date, install the repository, first project, moving package into Git, contributing to a project. All of this you can do it with the help of this ABAP Git. And it's so easy and simple. Just have to use and copy this report and create maybe a transaction code rather than running this report. You can also create a T code so that user can easily use this repository in your local system and then communicate to the Git directly from ABAP. But only problem is please subscribe my Oops ABAP training where I've explained how to use XML interface in ABAP to be able to process the complete XML in ABAP. Okay, very powerful training. Oops ABAP with the design patterns, a must-have training for all of you. As an architect in your company, you must know design patterns and XML processing in ABAP. All right, let's come back step by step, line by line, no copy paste of code. First step is create HTTP client object. And I'll say create by destination. Enter. And I'll just go ahead and enter the destination name. We already know the destination name. We just created it. It's Anubhav training. And I'll just put that over here. Let's import. And this responds you back with an HTTP client object. So we will use the new ABAP syntax to capture this client object. Data, hello, HTTP. So we have received a client object. Of course, additionally, we do exception handling. Just in case something went wrong during this connection, maybe the server can be down. So you can please capture the exception and throw me an error message accordingly. It's an exception handling. And now comes to the HTTP client object. You have it, we will use to make a request. The URL is already there in your destination, so just have to say send. Please make a request. And now I will just have to do exception handling again. That's all I need to do. Very simple use case for most of the services available on internet, on the public internet without any authentication. They are there, you can just use them. So we made a request. That was a step number 2. I'm just going to move this code under my commented code so that we can remember. Step number 3, ask for response. Again, same HTTP object is used all the time. Say, please give me receive. Once again, exception handling everywhere. Just in case anything goes wrong, we will will be notified by the message. Step number 4 is to now capture the data. So let's declare a result. And then we will use our HTTP object to say, please give me response. What is the response? You can also check the response header, and you can also check the response body. So I'm interested only in the body of the response. So I will say get the data, content data. What give me content data. And now finally we will just display this data into the URL into the browser. So SAP gives you a free class called CL_ABAP_browser, where you can display the content in a browser. It is showing same way you can display here. So I'll say show HTML, and we will just pass the response to this HTML string. Actually, we will just also give title here, and we just give our website name anubhavtrainings.com. And now I will just come back to HTML string and map our result to this gentleman over here. Let me activate. Fantastic, got activated. Time to shoot. Let me execute. And now it's making a call. Wow, there you go. The data all the way to that, from that OData service. The service document is popping up on your screen. Thank you so much for creating S-Trust configuration to my basis, plus additionally the RFC destination, the G-type destination, to make a secure connection with that HTTP protocol. And then finally this simple program. Remember, this program code is so generic, you can just use it by changing your destination. It's so generic. These steps never changes. These steps remains as it is, no matter how many types or different types of service you're calling. These steps remains as it is. Now, another benefit you get with creating the RFC destination is you separated out the URL. So you don't have to touch your program in case you want to change the response. Yeah. So you don't have to go and every day touch your program code. You simply can go to RFC destination, G-type destination, and simply here and make the changes to what you want to call. I want to now call products $$ format is equals to JSON. That's it. I just save this. I can come back and I can make another call without a problem. And what I should see now is the data. Wow, coming out of SAP's or non-SAP system. It is actually it's a public API on the internet, and we got all the data in the JSON format. Of course, this plugin of CL ABAP browser cannot do the JSON formatting like we can do in normal browser, but no problem. You can just copy this complete thing and straight away jump to anubhavtrainings.com. Oh, I'm so sorry. You have to go to jsonlint.com. This is our website, anubhavtrainings.com. Just go to jsonlint.com. And that's again, I can validate the data coming out of the system. So just come here and say validate. And wow, there you go. You can see this is your exact data calling from a real-time service published on the internet, REST API on the internet somewhere. We're just making a call to it, and it's responding me all the data out of that system. Actually, awesome, fantastic, clear everybody. And now, of course, you can parse this data. You have to parse this data in a way that you can get the result based on your need. Yeah, that's what you exactly have to do.
Hello, Nubul.
Yeah, once again, now I will also show you how to convert this to an internal table. Yeah, you can also do that. So what you can do is you have to eliminate this gentleman from the string, and you just left out only with the array. Actually, we have to have a particular format so that we can convert this whole thing into a internal table. So for that, we will again use another class, and this another class is called clfdt underscore json. And now I just have to do JSON to data. And now you can pass this JSON string, and then you will receive the CA data, which is an internal table. It's a LT data. And this internal table has to have the structure according to what we have. So let me define a structure types. And what are the fields we have? Let's just check them. We have ID field. Everything I make it as a string. Then we have the name field. We have description. We have release date. I treated everything as a string right now. And then you guys are anyway the champion in ABAP to treat data accordingly. Rating is going to be a number. Yeah. Just do a check, activate. And I'm just gonna come down and set up a breakpoint out here. Activate this. Execute. It will first show the JSON data, which is good. And now it starts a debugger. Ideally, it should automatically map my data to the internal table, but it's not doing. Reason being could be that the format which this particular JSON is expecting is not correct. Okay, it's not correct. So that's why we have to do a little bit of tweak, which I need to also explore how to do that tweak so that this data can be transformed from this JSON directly to our internal table. So that's something which I have to cross check, and then hopefully it should work. Maybe let's give a try. So I just switch to Shift F12 and go inside the method, and let's see what exactly how it is doing this transformation. So find trying to find an array. It did not work. I think it's expecting directly the curly braces and an array directly. So we have multiple curly braces. You see, first one we have it here, second one we have it here. So that's a problem. We need to eliminate this gentleman completely. This gentleman. Maybe I just go to the JSON lint, and this gentleman, it's not anticipated. Okay, we have to just replace this gentleman out from our string. So that's what I'll do now. Let me try. Hopefully this should work fine if I eliminate this guy completely from our data. Let's give it a try. So I'll just come back. It's trying to go to debugger now. Okay, come down, back to report. And before we do anything, we just say replace all occurrences of this guy in my result with space. And yeah, we can also now here use cl underscore abap underscore demo out and display me this data in a pop-up. They're all utility classes, very helpful at times. And I'll just execute and see if this helps or not. This is our data, original data. I'm replacing the first set of string. Just close this. No, it's still not getting. Maybe I have to also remove the first curly braces also. Maybe we have to remove the first occurrence of curly braces. And also the last occurrence. There's nothing called last occurrence, is it? No, we don't have. So how do we get this data right then? We have to somehow remove the last occurrence also. No problem, we'll do it in the debugging maybe. Let's try. We have to put a breakpoint here. I'll do it in the debugging.
Look, can't we use directly result dot value because all the data is coming into that value part?
No, how do you get this in internal table? This is not a map format, right? You cannot do result dot value. It's not an internal table data. It's a string, and this string is a JSON type, and this JSON needs to be transformed to your internal table in ABAP so that you can use it beautifully in ABAP programming. So there's no direct, one click or one option conversion. It's not possible. Yeah.
Okay.
Please mute your line. So I will go back and I'll just try to see if removal of this gentleman will help. I didn't replace my string also. Could be the issue. Let's try now here. It didn't even replace my string which I wanted to replace actually. Replace all occurrence of this. It did not replace this gentleman. That's why my result is not coming properly. Now try F6. Still did not come. No problem. Switch back. Basically, it needs a desired format of JSON. Only then system will do the necessary step for us. So just try removing the value completely. Let's try now. Yes, guys, something happened now. You can see it has got at least. Yes, it has got at least. So the value also needs to be replaced. You see, it has got my first record, but next consecutive record is not getting because we don't have the equal number of fields what it should have in the system, because in there we have more number of fields which are coming out, but here we have less number of fields. So we have extra price field which is not added to our table. Let me add that. Yeah, and now we can just go back. Okay, this replacement also did not work, so that's something we have to check why it's not replacing stuff. So maybe what I do is split based on array. Yeah, so let's split my string with at first array when it encounters into table string tab, and then we are just going to we're just going to loop this part. So loop at, basically what I want to do is I want to split it based on this array and then reconstruct this string accordingly so that I can pump directly the array part only to the system. Yeah, so that's what I want to do. So loop at string tab. That's an ABAP code actually I have to write now. Is equals to this guy. Then we have to declare final. The final string should become this equals to final plus str. This is equals to this, then keep concatenating. We have to start concatenating here till the next level. I will just set up a flag. We have encountered this gentleman, and if this gentleman is X, so a little bit of a ABAP code, guys, manipulating the data based on what we need. So if this flag is X, keep continuing. The moment you encounter end of array, make this flag blank. So that way it will keep concatenating this string in LV final, and what I will finally do is LV final equals to curly braces concatenate curly braces LV final curly braces into LV final. Let's try now. Just go back and activate. That is detected. Good. Let's see what's the error. LV flag is unknown. Okay, I know that. Thank you. Let me put that flag over here. Activate. Come back and execute. And now data comes. That's good. And the ABAP debugger starts so that we can see what is the string it is going to build now. We want to see the complete JSON string getting built with curly braces and array alone. Okay, it did not. It did not. Why? You have to go back to the loop. String tab. What do you have in string tab? Only 2 lines. So it has split based on array. Yeah, it has a split. So now I just want to eliminate the first part completely and put an array and curly brace behind. Yeah, that will be good. Okay, we can actually do that. We can actually do that. So no need to for this extra logic. In string tab, we have got our result. We can simply say read table. Why I'm not thought for read table string tab into data str index of 2. Take the second part and simply concatenate this gentleman with an extra curly braces and an array at the beginning, and rest all is history. Activate. Let's try now. Execute, and we'll see now what string will it make. It should make precisely the array string which we need. We pump to the function so that it can do the parsing for us. Okay, why it's not building now? Oh, I forgot to activate or add this str there. Again, mistake, my bad. Let me just go back and edit. It is stuck. Connection timed out. Let me log in again quickly. We have to make the JSON the same way, the way it is consumed by that function which we are using. All right, that is mandatory. Just have to connect. Give me a moment. Come down to index 2 and concatenate this str out here. And that's supposed to give me the correct data. Now execute. JSON comes up as usual. That's okay. And let me see my final string, what I need. Yeah, this looks good. No, my data is still not coming. There's some problem. Why it's still not coming? Let me try again. Let's check the data string there. A final string should go in and it should do the parsing accordingly. Let's check the final string. XML browser. HTML browser. Take this whole code, go to JSON lint and validate. There's a problem now in the JSON. May have to add value again. Let me try, guys. It's still not considering it's a valid JSON. What's my table name? Internal table name is LT data. So maybe we just have to add LT data node also in here. Let's try now. Let's hope it works. Otherwise, I have to just cross check this code and come back to you. Comes here. I just also injected LT data in the string. Execute. No, it's not coming. Just about a moment ago, we saw it was working fine. Now it's not. What's happening? There's some problem. I need to cross check, but that's the only thing which is not working. Transferring the data from this string to internal table is where we are stuck. Rest all the parts are working absolutely fine, as you have already seen. Maybe we will just give a last try by eliminating this completely and just keeping the array part. Okay. Just eliminating this completely, keeping only the array part, and finally in the string also we will delete the last occurrence of the curly brace. So maybe what I do is I will var reverse. Hope this works in ABAP. String reverse. No. How to reverse a string? ABAP. Let's give it a try. No, guys, I have to cross check, guys, this one so that I can show you the data in the internal table. This is what I need to cross check, and maybe I will upload the correct solution after confirming this. But at least I hope you got an idea how to make a call to an external service from ABAP system. Any questions before we close today's class and our batch? With that, I will conclude this batch completely. Thank you so much for all of your patience listening to this course throughout, and I hope you enjoyed the new concepts related to ABAP, including be it the EML, the highlights of this course EML, and then we looked at new ABAP syntax, a lot of new different types of ABAP syntax with group by for loop with the ABAP system, and then ABAP on cloud system with both managed, unmanaged, and web API scenario, including the documentation, and finally the ABAP Git and calling an external service. Any questions, feel free to get back to me on anubhav.abap@gmail.com. With that, thank you so much and goodbye.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
please.
Anubhav. One question. So in this case, your service was exposed as an OData service, right? Like say if it was not an OData service,
Even REST
then
services will
how
work
do we?
fine. What you just have to do is change the URL in SM59.
Okay.
SM59, let's go to SM59.
Okay.
There you just changed it to maybe non-OData. It doesn't matter. That's what I told you, right? In G type connection, you put here the URL of the non-OData service. That will also work
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Yes, it will work fine.
Okay.
You don't have to touch ABAP code. But only thing which you may have to change is this gentleman, this guy. Where you're converting it to internal table, because now the structure of the data is different. It's no more the product data, right? You've created your data type as product. So incoming data from the service will change. So that's when your this code will also change in terms of data type.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but the thing is, there is a concept called as RESTful API in ABAP, right? Like you can develop a RESTful API in ABAP to talk to a service on the cloud.
That also works the same way, but in that case you are not talking to a server which is external server, like in this case a server on the internet which is a OData server, odata.org. You are then in that case talking to another SAP server only. In last class you asked me to showcase something called REST API somewhere on the cloud. That's what I showed you today. OData is just a
Yes,
REST
plain.
API type. So now in this case
Correct.
SAP server itself, so you will create directly a type 3 connection.
Okay.
SAP server. Why do you need a web service in that case? You can directly call a BAPI with a type 3 connection. Call function name, destination, the BAPI name. That's all.
Okay, actually, now to be very specific, my question is there is actually a blog, like say to develop a plain RESTful API in ABAP using this REST handler class. Actually, I
Yes.
tried that, but I was not able to follow it. So that's why I
Okay,
was
so
actually
now
thinking
your
like,
question is
probably you can.
this. Now your question is, you are asking that how to create REST service in ABAP. Your question is not
Yes.
how to consume a service from a cloud enabled service in your ABAP system. So you have flipped the question now. So for that, maybe you have to create another video on YouTube to
Yeah.
create a REST service, plain REST service using ABAP. That I will do it. But I would not recommend you to use that approach. That's a very old approach. If you check the dates of that blog also, it will be somewhere 2012, 14 kind of. Because that's a
No,
very
it's
old date.
2017.
17, yeah. So 2 year
Yeah,
old.
plain.
Better we use
Right.
OData service because OData itself is a REST. And anybody can consume
Okay.
OData from anywhere. They can consume from Node.js, Java, ABAP, Fiori, UI5. They can consume anywhere read from. And I'm sure you attended my UI5 training where we learned how to build OData services. Those are also REST services. So why are you still using old technology? I have no idea.
Yeah, like we had a requirement to talk to, like say, external service. Like this is the service which actually services our internal machines in our company. I work for a gaming company in Reno, Nevada. So that's what this external service actually does. And now we need to talk to the service. So that person who is like dealing with this, he suggested this approach, like developing a plain RESTful API in ABAP, which is like an alternative to OData, and that's what he was saying. Like probably we can use to talk to this. That's why I was thinking maybe if you can show us that would be very helpful. Like not only for this particular application, I was talking any other service on the cloud. If we can develop an API in ABAP, a RESTful API, which one can talk to this service. So that's what I was referring to.
So you see, this is how your ABAP will talk to any service. We are actually talking to a service. We are sending request. We are receiving response. This is how ABAP talks to any API in the cloud, any REST service in the cloud.
Okay.
Yeah, this is how we do it actually.
Okay. So really a requirement of developing a RESTful API
But
to
maybe
talk
I
to a
would
service in the
say
cloud.
request you to please send me an email in a pictorial form what you want to achieve, because I'm not able to now get what you are trying to ask Give me a pictorial representation of what do you want. Where is your server? Where is your client? Who's your client? Is it an ABAP system? Is it a browser? Is it a Fiori app? Who's your client? Who's your server? And are there multiple server and multiple clients? If that's the case, then maybe we have to address it in a different way. So if you can give me a pictorial representation, that's even better. For my understanding, maybe I'm not able to understand your question right. If you give me that, will be very helpful. You can actually also use CPI, Cloud Platform Integration. You are already attending that course with Sam. So there you can also ask him how that kind of integration can be achieved.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Cool, guys. Thank you so much once again. And I would say bye-bye to all of you. And I will see you with maybe more courses this year. Hopefully Analytics Cloud. And there are more things will be coming up soon in the line of trainings with AnubhavTrainings.com. With that, Anubhav signing out. Thank you so much again and see you. Goodbye.